Reese, how much does time attack matters in these testing situation? And what are your thoughts on all you guys on Baja coming in with KTM? Is it certain brands you start to put stickers on their car because you don't like them anymore for next year? Should Suzuki be doing more for the motorcycle culture? What would you be doing right now for your off-season prep for next season? Talk about some of the prep stuff that you guys do. What are your thoughts when you hear people say, it's too expensive to go to track, that's why I don't go? Welcome back to another edition of the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45, and it is a holiday week for us and for most people in the country, so we're going to make it light and have a little bit of fun. We're going to talk a little bit of MotoAmerica, some testing in MotoGP. It's the off season for some of us, not everyone. So, we're going to find out who still has to work, but the rest of us are trying to put our bikes back together or get something fixed and all that fun stuff. So it should be a good, entertaining show. So definitely keep it locked. Let's bring the first person in and see what he's been up to. TJ, man, welcome to the show. How you doing this tonight?
We're doing good over here. We always bring up my Patriots. So,
go ahead and say it. Because if you don't say it, they don't win. Yeah.
We're still winning. I think it's time for you guys to start being worried.
Who guys?
Just the rest of the league. Just the rest of the league.
Okay. Don't say you guys, man. I mean, you're lumping me in that. You have to say the rest of the people out there that, it's hard to say because it is a fluke. I mean, they're 10-2. They got the best record in the league, which is very surprising for everyone. So I don't think, I'm not going to say where they're going to end up. I mean, anything is possible, but I don't know if I see that trophy at the end, but anything is possible. So you're excited that the Patriots are winning, and it's nice and warm in Boston.
Yeah, it's warm up here, sun shining. It's a nice 45 degrees. It's just getting ready for, the next season and, motorcycle racing to come up in February. So that's all I'm looking forward to. Okay. Now that testing's over and MotoGP and all the series is over. So.
All right, man, it's a tough time. You gotta look in the mirror and find that, you don't have a life outside of motorcycles.
What do we do? Right.
No doubt. Reese, man, welcome to the show. What's good, man? I mean, we're going to let the cat out the bag. Apparently, you're still at the racetrack, so, you're living the dream still while the rest of us are looking at reruns. What's good, man?
Yeah, it was good, man. You can call it living a dream, but you still got to work, man. You still got to get ready for the upcoming season, man. So, and to answer TJ, I don't know about them Patriots. I mean, you still got to, as they say, you still got to come to Philly.
Okay. You got to get that cheesesteak.
Still got to come to Philly. Still got to come.
All right, that's what's up, man. We'll bring Lewis in and we'll find out where you've been, where you're at, testing and all that fun stuff. Lewis, man, welcome to the show. What's good, man?
What's going on, man? How was your weekend?
I went out on my bike yesterday, man, and I probably did close to 300 miles on the V4. I found some roads that are not straight in Florida, so I will say they are roads that are not straight.
But they were flat.
No, there was a little bit of elevation, but there was just a lot of farmland.
Okay.
I was wondering if somebody was going to come and start yelling, keep the noise down by, loud exhaust is passing your crib, So, but what's good with you, man?
I got out on the lawnmower. I was doing at least 7 miles an hour. It was riveting, super exciting.
Got you. I don't know how much lawn you have, but occasionally, I'm like, I could probably cut like Mugello in my yard, cutting the grass. I don't know if I have enough time and patience to do it, but it crossed my mind to make a little grass racetrack.
I have enough lawn where the first time I went to mow this lawn, I rented a push mower And about an hour into push mowing, I went and took that mower back and bought a riding mower because I still had 80% of the grass left to cut, even with the push mower.
Listen, man, I give people credit that go out there and cut and use those push modes because you need something that's rideable for sure. But let's talk about racing and motorcycling and all the fun stuff. We do like single cylinder engines as well as those inlines and all that fun stuff, guys. I don't even know where to start, but let's start. Testing happened over after the last round. Toprak was able to come out and ride that V4. Bulaga was out there. How much of testing? How much does it dictate what happens through the season? Is it more just kind of a shakedown, more for us, the fans? Reese, you can attest more than the rest of us because you're going through testing right now. Is it something that you're sitting here saying, man, I could have stayed home and take a nap, but are you locked in 100%? What are your thoughts, TJ, on testing over in Europe, MotoGP?
I mean, the fact that they just came off of a GP race and testing at the same track, I don't know how much data they can actually get out of what they were performing, all season. So I think it's more of like a shakedown just to see what the new bike can bring you. And, every rider has a different goal at this point. Let's per se, like Diego Moreira is his first time on a GP bike. So his take on it is just to get the feeling right, get used to everything and see how the controls work. So that time is precious for him. And, like for Fabio, like he's trying to figure this V4 out. And he's probably the best example to make this bike go the fastest. So he's probably trying his hardest to figure the bike out and, get a fast time. So I think it's just a shakedown, just to feel things out, and before the actual the real test comes in right before the season.
Right. Reese, how much does time attack matters in these testing situation? And in a case like Yamaha, as far as the V4, I know you guys are not testing a brand new engine, but I'm sure you guys are trying something new. How much is the first testing session? How much does that matter for you guys? And what are your thoughts on GP with what they're doing, what they did over there for testing and stuff like that? Yamaha, but you can talk about all the other brands except for Ducati.
I mean, this test, it's pretty much this the winter test. It's pretty much like a shakedown test. This is trying some new things, see what new things is going to work, so we can work on over the winter, while we have plenty of time. And then like for the new guys coming in, like over there in GP, it's like kind of get a feel for the bike. You can kind of see what works best, what doesn't work. Or you just kind of just feel where you're at. Just kind of get your feet wet in the water. So that's pretty much it. It's the time attacks in here is not really that big. It's just, like I said, it's just more of a shakedown. The time attacks will start coming when it starts getting into closer to the season and, getting more prepared into it. It's now just like TJ said, it's just more of a shakedown test. That's all it pretty much really is.
Now, what are your thoughts? Do you think that, testing, that like the first test should happen a little bit later rather than the day after or a couple of days after? You got the award ceremony and then the day after. It's really like some of these guys may still be kind of hungover showing up.
It could be, but no, I think it's kind of good. I think it's kind of good that it is a day afterwards, after the awards. Because you got first of all, you're renting the facility out. God knows how much the facility costs to rent and the EMTs, everything else. But then you also have to realize that, they're flying all of their equipment over or bringing their equipment over or driving it, however far it is, they got to bring it. But they're bringing all their new equipment, all the new bikes that they're actually adding on. So it's time, like, while you're still kind of fresh, you just got off the track, it's kind of, hey, let's try it before we take our long winter break and figure it out to see what's going on. Because when they come back from their winter break, everyone's kind of, now it's time to get back into it, to get back on the feel of things. This way, it's still kind of, everything's still kind of fresh in their mind.
Okay, no doubt. Louis, what are your thoughts on testing and time? I've seen a lot of people post time of, who these new guys are faster than and all that fun stuff. Is it just, food for thought or just clickbait? Is it where, your brand and other brands are trying to work out deals and stuff in the background? What are your thoughts, man?
I mean, there's a lot of things that happen during testing, especially this particular test, the test right after the last event of the year. Obviously, there's some new pieces that come out, but this isn't really like Reese said, this isn't really the test where all the new goodies show up. There might be some new goodies, and everybody's got a different idea of what this test is for. On the Yamaha side, Top Rack wants to go out there and prove that he can ride this bike at a higher level. So he's going to be pushing a little bit more than somebody else. And since he has no point of reference, his point of reference is just how fast can I go on this motorcycle? Whereas somebody like Jack Miller, who on the timesheet showed up a little bit slower than Top Rack, he might already know what he needs to do in this time with this new motor, because he's already been on the bike with the motor and needs to see what the evolution of the motor is. So he's going out there and looking at something differently than someone else. So everybody has their own agenda for for this particular test. Mm-hmm. The next couple of tests are going to be incrementally more important because they're going to be leading to the beginning of the season. And again, this is, I don't want to say practice. Practice is super important, but this is practice. The fastest guy that puts a time down in practice doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be able to apply that to a full-length race or something else. He might put on a set of qualifying tires and go out there and see what's the fastest he can go. Or somebody else might just go out there and just want to see, hey, how does this track with this weather condition, how many laps can I get out of a soft tire? How many laps can I get out of a medium tire? How can we change the power delivery to get more power without eating up the tire? How can we do, so everybody's got a different plan. And the people that are at the front at the end of this year should start next year more or less in the same position and aren't going to be as desperate to look for those big increases. They're going to look for incremental increases. So your Ducatis and your Aprilias are going to try to continue build off the success they had at the end of this year and carry it on to next year. Ducati might have a little bit more work to do because now, they've had a year of one rider having a lot of success and other riders not having as much success. And now Alex Marquez is going to be on a factory supported bike. So that's going to change the dynamics there. And there's even some politics that we'll talk about later going on with the Grassini team and the factory Ducati team and how the VR46 team is maybe feeling a little left out because now they're not going to have possibly a full factory bike next year. It's
like that reggae song, rumors them spreading for real.
Yeah. It's still a good event. For, there was a couple of Moto2 guys and even a Moto3 guy that was allowed to go out there and ride the bike just as a reward for doing so good. And for those guys that get that opportunity to go out there, one, they get to see this is possibly in my future. This is what I have to look forward to. And maybe it also is an idea for the factory teams or other teams to see, hey, let's see how this 17-year-old or 18-year-old reacts in this situation. And is this someone we think maybe in the future we want to see here? It's a lot of things going on.
You think Rossi was like, Viete, go out there and get the bike because Morbidelli doesn't want this.
I mean, they're looking for riders, man. Next year is going to be the craziest silly season because I think almost every single seat in the paddock is up for bids.
Yeah, exactly. I think everyone is up next year. There's no one that has an extension beyond next year. But maybe Bender because he signed that ridiculous deal way back when, that 6-year deal or whatever. I think that was a win for Bender, not KTM.
Well, it might be a win for Bender, but now with KTM finally being completely under this new Baja management group,
yeah.
That contract is as good as toilet paper.
Let's talk about that, and we'll talk about the rumors before we move into MotoAmerica and what's happening there and all that fun stuff. But what are your thoughts on all you guys on? I mean, I think you Reese and TJ know about Baja coming in with KTM, right?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, Lewis,
I don't
fill us
know.
in on the details because I know you deliver the pens for people to sign these contracts with. So you're in the room.
A lot of big numbers here, man. A lot of big numbers. So Baja has officially taken control of KTM as an entity. They've changed the name of the company or that managing company to a different name. So even though the brand is still going to be KTM, it's now owned and managed under a different brand equity name. So it's not KTM Motors. It's something completely different. One of the big things that's going to happen in the next 6 to 8 months or year is anytime a company absorbs another company, the first thing you do is you fire all the coaches and you get your own coaches, especially if you don't trust them. Right. And if a lot of these coaches, so a lot of these CEOs, CMOs, COOs led this company into this bad of financial ruin, you ain't going to keep them. So you're going to see a lot of heads rolling. You're going to see a lot of new people be putting into place. Like over the next few months, I expect them to announce a new CMO, a new CEO, a new CEO, a COO, and then how's that going to? How's that? Yeah, the entire C-suite is getting cleaned out. New rugs coming in. But how's that going to affect every tier? One of the things that we're already hearing is that some of the manufacturing is going to be moving to India and other places where Baja already makes their cars, to try to reduce the costs and so forth and so on, make it a little bit easier for them. Obviously, this is an Austrian company. A lot of people that have bought KTMs over the year bought it because it was built in Europe or a European brand. How is that going to impact quality? How's this going to impact supply chain? How are parts going to become available? These are all questions that, unfortunately, it's going to take time to answer these. Right. The realm we're interested in is racing. What's going to happen to their team? And right now, the rumors are that they might actually sell the licenses to 2 of the seats. So instead of having 4 KTMs out there might only be 2 KTMs out there in the next year to 2 years, or they might be completely getting out of MotoGP unless they can find some really deep pockets that want to fund the program and keep it up and running. Because Baja, if you look at all the big manufacturers that deal in volume, they're not in MotoGP. There's no, Kimco or Kimco in MotoGP.
CF Moto is trying to get there. They're trying to.
CF Moto
they're in Moto 2 and Moto 3.
Is a Chinese company that has a lot of Chinese backing, and they have very big plans for that company. Of all the Chinese brands right now, CF Moto is considered their Honda. Okay. Or their Harley, let's put it that way. And even though, if you look at their bikes, it looks like they stole a little bit from a Ducati and a little bit from a Honda and a little bit from an MV Agusta, they're still building really good bikes. And the quality is definitely good from what I hear from other parts of the world where they sell in huge volume. Right. And now they're trying to penetrate the bigger markets, which is Europe and the U.S.
Right. So do you think Baja may kind of see what CF Moto is doing, or you just think they're going to kind of just, look at their bottom line? And because, when most times when companies are bought and as publicized as KTM has been, it usually doesn't turn around until the company's all sold again, right? That the first buyers don't usually fix the problem.
No. I would say that for the most part, except this is not an equity firm. This is actually a car manufacturer, and a car manufacturer, like when the VW group bought Ducati, they didn't buy it to flip it. They bought it to build it up to a stronger company. And now you look where Ducati's at. So they did it the right way. If this was a private equity firm, I would say, hey, man, in about 4 years, all these people are going to be gone again. But since this is an actual car company, I don't see that happening. I think they really are planning a long-term strategy with KTM. But I don't think that will be in MotoGP. I think they'll keep KTM in Moto 2 and Moto 3. And even Moto 2 doesn't really make sense because the motor is not your motor. Right. You build the frame and you build everything else, but you're stuck with whatever motor, the Triumph motor or whatever motor is the homologated motor.
Right. And, and I know Reese is probably thinking this, and so is TJ, but what about the Junior Cups and all these other places that KTM is so immersed in this, feeder program or programs that they have for riders now? It's not just the main seats that are, on the table.
And I would agree with that. But if you think about their feeder program, again, it's small displacement bikes that they typically sell, RC390s and so forth and so on, same as Moto3 bikes. So I would say for their feeder program and for other series, they would make sense. But in Moto2, it makes no sense because you don't get to use your own motor. And in MotoGP, the expense is so high that unless they can get somebody to come in and really cover so much of this cost. And this is happening at the time when Tech 3 just got sold to the gentleman from Formula One.
Right.
So he's going to come in with big, deep pockets, a lot of sponsorship money behind him. So maybe him and his crew are the ones that kind of save the KTM program.
Okay. Well,
like a lot of questions asked, but not a lot of answers yet. We're going to have to wait and see.
Well, let's see, Reese, you got any questions? TJ, and then we can kind of roll into the rumor mill because, you know, he doesn't have to stay with KTM, right? I'm pretty sure there's a clause in there somewhere for him to get out if they screw up. And right.
Yeah, I don't really have anything on that one. I mean, he's answered it all. He answered that all quick.
Yeah.
So
in any contract you sign as a rider, there's always out clause both for the manufacturer and for the rider. Right. So if at any point let's say there's some clauses in Acosta's contract where KTM can't meet certain thresholds, he can get out of the contract and he can't be penalized. I mean, unless he has a complete idiot for a manager, which at that level, there's not that many idiots that are managers. Most of the people know what they're doing. They'll have an out clause. So unless he can clearly show that KTM is not meeting the requirements of the contract, he'll be stuck in that contract. But if he can prove that they're not meeting certain thresholds, he could possibly get out of that contract. And either way, like next year is kind of his last year with them. And he's going to be looking for a new ride, and it's going to be another factory.
And you know, it's not just the riders. It's not just the new owner of Tech 3. What about Red Bull?
Red Bull is like Monster, which is like a lot of companies. I don't know. They just print money in the back room because they sell a product for $3 that cost them 18 cents to make. So their profit to cost margin is through the roof. That's why they advertise and they're in everything, because they are a promotional company that sells a drink that makes them a ton of money.
They did get a little bit lucky buying that Formula One team too.
Yeah.
For the price they got it at.
But I don't think that they'll outright buy a team because they still need to rely on a manufacturer to deliver bikes. You know, when they buy a Formula One team, they can go to Ferrari or they can go to McLaren or these companies and they can get the products they need, and then they can build a team around these products. But in MotoGP, you're kind of stuck to the 4 or 5 manufacturers that are in GP.
Right. Well, you know, Honda might be looking for a new big sponsor besides Castro Oil.
Well, Honda's got Repsol coming back next year.
Okay.
Breaking news!
They start alike.
I got a question about the KTM aspect. So, like, you mentioned, like, they probably will just hypothetically withdraw from MotoGP or at least take away 2 bikes. So I know when Suzuki left, like, they told Dorna that they, like, we'll withdraw and we'll pay the penalty or fine, whatever. Like, is that going to be the case, or is do they re-sign a contract like that? That I do not know of how, like, these MotoGP manufacturers enter.
So you only pay a fine if you can't find another company to take your spots, because they don't want 2 empty spots in the grid. So in Suzuki's case, they were going to have to pay a pretty big fine until they found somebody willing to buy their spots. And then, the penalty went down significantly from what they would have gotten if they couldn't find somebody to absorb those 2 spots. And it's very easy to get 2 spots sold in MotoGP because everybody that has some money does want to build a team. The biggest problem is finding a manufacturer that's willing to make you bikes, make you good bikes too, not make you some 3rd-tier shitty version of their best bike, but make you like a competent, or sell you last year's bikes, sell you the technology, help you get up and running, things like that. It's not an easy endeavor to go from one manufacturer to another unless that manufacturer you're going to already has a structure.
Right.
So if KTM leaves, those 2 spots would have to go to one of the manufacturers that are there now. And I don't think Yamaha wants to add more bikes.
They should.
Honda, I don't know if they want to add more bikes.
They should.
They should. No, absolutely, they should. So although I think the one manufacturer that would benefit from adding more bikes would be Aprilia. If Aprilia went from 4 bikes to 6 bikes, I think that would now put them on par one with Ducati, because now they also have 6 bikes going against 6 bikes. Between those 2 companies, they take up almost 50% of the grid. 40-something% of the grid will be all Italian. And both of those bikes right now are the 2 top bikes. So you're going to get a lot of more interesting racing until the KTMs and the Hondas and Yamahas in the world catch up.
Right. And so the rumor is that, Rossi may, leave Ducati and jump to Aprilia.
That is one of the rumors.
I mean,
for 2020.
Yeah. Do you really buy that? You think? I mean, obviously, money talks, right? So when it comes down to it, but is it such a big deal if? Well, VR46 is getting a 26 bike.
One.
Yeah, and so they both getting one, and Grassini's getting one, right? Yeah. So it's so there's no reason to be disgruntled from Rossi's perspective, is there?
I'll let you guys answer this one.
I mean,
yeah, go ahead, T.
Oh, no, I'm just speaking like who's gonna ride that bike? Is it? I mean, he needs another rider. I feel like to represent him, like someone else younger to come up to.
Celestine Viette or one of these other young riders coming through the VR46 Academy.
I feel like Rossi gets what he wants anyway. I mean, for him to get 2 new bikes, that's like, I don't know, that'll be unheard of, I think.
I think Rossi wants his 2015 championship. He don't get what he wants.
So, I mean, but yeah, no, I mean, I think it's good enough for him to just have 126 bike and 25. But, Rossi is always into something.
Right. Reese, there's a lot of rumors in the MotoAmerica, which we'll jump into. So how much of this stuff is valid, what we hear on the social media streets?
You see the mouth is shut. I mean, some you can believe, some you can't believe. We'll say that. But sometimes the riders will just slip out and say some stuff, and you be like, shut up and just wait till it's on paper, but it normally comes from somewhere in that rider.
Gotcha. Normally, no doubt. I think it'll be cool. I mean, I think if Rossi was to go with Aprilia, the bike is doing fairly well. It's the closest bike that can fight Ducati. It's an Italian brand. I don't know if Aprilia has enough money where Ducati has that money to develop a little bit faster, a little bit quicker, and stuff like that. Where Aprilia is still a niche brand, and who knows what 27 looks like, right? So because if whoever comes out the gate on the wrong foot, you already know it's going to take them maybe a few seasons to catch up.
I mean, do you have the money like Lambo has?
Well, one of the things that you're missing about the Ducati conversation is, how keen and how happy is Rossi knowing that Marquez is winning on a Ducati? How keen and how happy is he that the 2 Spaniards at Grassini are doing better than his 2 Italians on Ducatis? And there's only 1 Italian left on the factory team, which is Pecco, and he might not be there going into 27. So this is another aspect that you're not kind of thinking about is, you're talking about now, not just Rossi, but Italians versus the Spaniards, both on Italian bikes, and right. 1 Italian feeling like the Spaniards are getting better shit than he's getting. Right. And, it's petty like that, man. Even here in the U.S.
And we don't know what Pekka's going back and telling Rossi. We don't know what Pekka's telling Rossi neither. That's one of your VR46 boys.
Yep.
Listen, it's like that scene in Snatch. You know, Boris, you're my brother. What do you want me to do? Come shoot him for you? Some things they have to do on their own. You're absolutely right, and it must be tough for Rossi. And I suspect, I mean, Rossi does a better job at it than Jordan, because as we know, Jordan can't coach because he'll just lace up and go out there. So you know,
Right.
I mean, I think for Rossi, he must, that there's a side of him that wants to say, hey, it can be done. It can be done. You guys are not getting there. So I guess that has to be difficult for him. But I still, Aprilia makes the most sense if Ducati can't if seems to be meddling with the the Italian nationality.
Unless Yamaha pulls something amazing out of their ass in 2026, Aprilia would make the most sense going into 27. Because Yamaha would make the most sense for Rossi only because of his history with the brand.
Yeah.
And it kind of
But he's
be,
still an ambassador too.
Yeah, so it'd be kind of like a homecoming to have VR46 back on Yamaha. It'll be a win for Yamaha and for Rossi if he went back and used Yamaha bikes with his team. That would be a
lowercase W though.
Yeah, dude. But if as a marketing person, I'd be in the back just creaming the entire wall if I could get my ambassador. Just painting the wall, man, because I got Rossi back.
You're absolutely right. They would sell a lot of bikes. I mean, no doubt that
Sure.
No one is selling more bikes than Rossi at the moment. I think they're trying to use Marquez to get there, but we shall see. Anything else about MotoGP before we move over to this side of the country, this side of the world?
Nah, that's good. That's good. That's good for them.
All right, let's talk about it. So
they got enough money.
Yeah. You're giving them too much free publicity.
Exactly. You're gonna have to stop putting them on notice. So let's talk MotoAmerica. Some seats moving around. What I know about, and hopefully we'll see what we can get out of Reese and Lewis on who's coming. But it looks like Cam Bobier is on the red bike for next season. New testing. Testing has to be done, but it's a new platform. So. We'll start with Reese on this one. Last year you guys kind of had an idea who your challenger was going to be coming into 2025. Do you guys look at any of that stuff? Is it like, you hear football players and basketball players got certain dates on the calendar circled and stuff because they're going to see certain people? Is it certain brands you start to, put stickers on their car because you don't like them anymore for next year?
Nothing like that, but you always got to know who the challenger that's going to come into play. From what I hear, I think there's like 4 Ducatis that's going to be on the grid now this year. So that's something big. You got Cam. He's always going to be a contender, especially if he wraps his head around that bike. So that's always going to be a contender there. You also have Matthew coming in, to the Superbike. He's going to be a contender. You got PJ, you have Bobby still out there, and Bobby's coming strong. And, so I think it's going to be a good year. We know who's coming, who's so far. You still got the BMWs with Sean Dillon Kelly. So, it's going to be a good year. I would say this year, the Superbike, this is going to be the year of the Superbikes versus like the smaller ones.
Right. And, how much does, these riders moving around on different bikes make a difference? Cam won last year on the BMW. I don't want to say it's the same situation. Well, I guess it is the same situation as Jorge Martin. You win on one bike, but you got to put that number plate on a different manufacturer altogether. There's still a learning curve. So how much do you guys pay attention to that part of it? Like, okay, they're on a different bike, so they got to play catch up. Where Bobby's been on the same bike now for a little bit, as far as being on a Yamaha, obviously, is this 1 year on the factory.
We pay attention to it a little bit, but we're trying to pay attention to our own thing, and get ourselves situated. That's where it's at. And me personally, coming from the athletic background and the competition that I am, like, I'm very competitive. I've always said, that my beliefs is that Bobby's going to be the most dangerous one out there on the track. He's going to be the most dangerous one. He was there to taste almost a champagne, but didn't taste it. And he's going to be the most hungriest one. You know, Cam's still going to be hungry. He's on a new bike to prove himself. You got the new guys that want to prove themselves, but still got that, as you want to call it, the learning curve. But, you know, Bobby's on a bike that he knows. He's been on the bike. He knows what, the pressure's not on him. And if you read the article that he did put out, he did say there was some pressure on him. But, I think that's kind of kicked, and he's coming back for a little bit of glory.
Oh.
But what we need to do is actually step our game up to be ready and to take the win.
Okay, listen, I'm looking forward to it. TJ, man, your guy there at the moment doesn't have a ride. How you feeling about that? And what are your thoughts on what the grid is going to look like next year? Because it looked like it's. I mean, last year it was stacked, but this year is even going to be more stacked because you do have, I would say, 9 to 10 riders. Reese can correct me if I'm wrong, that could fight for it, or even Lewis that could fight for a championship next year. So is it odd that Herron doesn't have a ride for next year, and this guy was fighting for the championship? I mean, is it like Oliveira's kind of situation? What are your thoughts, man?
It's kind of funny that getting into motorcycles, a guy that I liked now is like the most hated out there. It's kind of strange not seeing him have a ride yet. I'm sure it's like an interference to his, trying to get ready for the next season if he can get that ride going. But yeah, it's a little strange. I feel like he kind of went through this the year before, such when he had to get all these sponsors and stuff like that. But it's a little strange, and just sitting back and patiently waiting just to see some news or some rumors. But I feel like it will all work out in the end.
Okay.
But we'll see. I mean, it'll be kind of interesting to not have him in the series after how competitive he is. But I know the insiders is like burning bridges different places, just like some MotoGP riders. You might just push your way out. So we'll see. It's kind of interesting.
No, man, listen, the motorcycle politics is for real. I think it's okay to, I'm not even going to say it. But
might as well go ahead and say it. You might as well say it.
You can get away with kissing someone's woman, but you can't be messing with the bike or messing with the ride at all. People remember that, and it's like if you screw one team over, it seems like the whole paddock is against you. As we look at some of these MotoGP riders that can't get rides, or Moto2 riders that can't get rides in MotoGP for politics. Lewis, what are your thoughts, man, on? Well, TJ, you didn't answer. How do you think the season's going to look next year with these guys coming in and coming back up?
Yeah, just how Reese said, I think Bobby Fong is just going to be in the front runner. He's just gonna. I feel like he has something to prove, and I mean, it was just right there. It was, the championship was right there, so he has something to prove. I feel like he's going to be a front runner. Right. And, it's going to be interesting seeing Bobier on Ducati. I feel like he'll adapt very fast. I mean, just seeing what he did on that BMW. So it's going to be an interesting season. I'm looking forward to it. It's a couple of riders on different seats. So, but I think Bobby Fong is going to be one to look forward to watching. I think hopefully he can finally take it home this year.
No doubt. Bobby Fong is Kobe Bryant in a 2008 season. So 2009.
He had the fro. He had the fro.
So, say, 2009, it was Kobe's year after losing to the Celtics in '08. So next year might be his for sure. What are your thoughts, Lewis? I know you have a lot to say based on what I said, but what rumors can you say or say they're not rumors? And also, what are your thoughts for next year?
Can't say anything, man. Can't say anything, man. I can say that for Superbike, it's going to be an interesting year because, like Reese said, there's a lot of talent in Superbike and there's a lot of talent on good bikes. I think if you go through the paddock and you ask anybody in the paddock who's the odds-on favorite every single year, it's always going to be Cam Beaubier. He's always going to be at the top of the pile, no matter what he's riding, whether it's a BMW, a Suzuki, a Yamaha, a Ducati. He's always going to be that guy that everybody looks at as like the benchmark for the best racer out there. But then after him, I mean, you've got a lot of guys that are hungry. Bobby's obviously hungry. He learned a lot from last season. He showed that he has the pace to race at almost every circuit and be competitive. Whoever his teammate is going to be is at least going to be on a competent bike. And if he's a halfway decent rider, he'll be in the top 10. After that, you got Schultz, and this is a guy that has already been on a Yamaha R1, and he's going back to a Yamaha R1 after his exile to Supersport. And so he's going to come back with a giant chip on his shoulder and something to prove. And if everybody knows anything about him, the dude races super hard. Some people would say it's on a borderline of dirty, but is there really anything dirty about, taking a spot from somebody?
Right.
If you could fit a credit card, you could fit a bike.
Yeah. I need a court typist to read back the transcript. I mean, you throw dirt smooth, Lewis. You're real smooth
baby.
with it.
Slide it. I slide
it's
it
sprinkled
baby.
right in there, but
like cinnamon, just a little bit, not too much.
Too much. You can make butter on the bread taste real good with a little bit of cinnamon.
And then you got the Honda guys. Honda is going to have a full Superbike team. You got the Orange Cat guys are going to have a full Superbike team. The BMW factory team. I mean, there's a lot of really, really good stuff. I mean, I hate to see Stock 1000 going away, but at the same time, I kind of like to see Stock 1000 going away because it felt like a poor man's Superbike. And the Superbike grid, on some races was looking really anemic this past year.
Yeah.
So let's combine these. Let's figure out a way to give the Stock 1000 bikes a little bit of concessions to make them a little more competitive against the Superbikes, but keep the cost down for them. And let's see what the show looks like this year. My biggest thing is I don't want to see the same three dudes every single weekend racing for the top 3 spots.
Right. Come on, man. That's fun. Sean Dillon Kelly, though, I got to say he's probably the next closest guy to Bobby, wouldn't you think? Because coming back from MotoGP, Paddock, and Moto2, he's not necessarily had the best luck coming back in the MotoAmerica. He has to be brewing too, right?
No, I think he's one of those top talents that we have in MotoAmerica this year. Unfortunately, this past year he was on Suzuki, and we just know that Suzuki is just not as competitive as we would like it to be as Suzuki fans. The rest, I don't know who else is a Suzuki fan here. I think it's just me and TJ. That's it. That's 50%. Hey, 50% of the viewing audience wants Suzuki to do better. That's a big number.
I'm a fan of Suzuki as well. I've always wanted one. I just haven't had the luck to be able to get the title in my hand. Something always go awry.
He just wanted to be part of the Squid Game. That's the Squid Riders.
I hear they're good for beginners. That's all.
They're great. Yeah, the SV650 is the best clapped out piece of shit you can put on a track.
Yeah,
right.
Sure is.
But if Suzuki could kind of get their stuff together, I mean, we've got Ducati that's competitive, we got Yamaha that's competitive, we got BMW out there that's competitive. We can get Honda. Looks like it's going to be more competitive this year. I mean, we've got a great mix of manufacturers. Suzuki needs to, make that next step that hopefully they make in the next 18 months. But as far as riders, all the riders on all the teams are strong, and Cameron Beaubier, and then right behind him would be like on par would be Bobby, Sean Dillon, and Matthew.
Right. Okay.
And then below that would be your PJs and I don't know who else is down there. Gillum, only because like the Honda might not be that great. Your JDs, and then from there kind of trickles down. But the top guy is Cam Beaubier, and then after that is going to be your Bobby, your Sean, and your Schultz.
Okay. Hey, you didn't say Heron. I mean, I know you got a ride.
Well, he's right, man. He's gonna be the top rider watching from the stands. You don't have a ride. I had this conversation with somebody a few weeks ago because they were talking about how riders are changing. A lot of riders are changing from gear this year. A lot of guys from Revit are going here. A lot of guys from Alpine Star going there. A lot of guys from Dainese are going there. And I explained to him, I said, look, sometimes you don't have an option but to change because the team you're going to tells you you have to wear this product. And as much as you might like the product you're in, I've watched a lot of races. I've never seen somebody run across the straightaway and finish in first without a bike on good-looking gear. But I've seen a lot of guys on really good bikes wearing shitty gear win races. So sometimes you got to take the shitty gear and get the good bike to go win.
Hey, listen, I can quote Snatch reference all show now.
Do another one, man. I'm all for it.
The turtle and the dog, the rabbit and the dog, you know. But before we move on to what most of us do, which is club race and get prepared for next season and our off season as we try to get ready. We talked about Suzuki, just joking a little bit. But like, how come Suzuki hasn't figured out that even if, you heard Reese talk about, squid riders and stuff like that, people still buy Suzukis. Why wouldn't Suzuki invest in the culture a little bit? Because I think if they did, a lot more Suzukis would more than what's on the streets already would be on the street. What are your thoughts? We'll start with TJ. Should Suzuki be doing more for the motorcycle culture, where we see Yamaha, even Honda, Ducati, even BMW doing these things?
Suzuki slowly is doing little things. A lot of people wanted to change up the engine and stuff like that. They're doing that for the new 2026.
I think they want to change the whole bike up, man. Come on.
Yeah, I know. But, they're one of the only ones that has the 600, 750, and 1000. A lot of bikes can't have all three. Suzuki got all, those three CCs. So, they come out with the naked versions to kind of compete where, they got the GSX 7 or 6, and then the GS
750,
10, the 750, and then the 1000, and then now they have the GSX 8. So it's not what people really want. It's just affordable, and I think it's a great bike, very comfortable and easy to learn on. Like I said, so a lot of people want to get the higher brands, the higher class like Ducati. Which requires a lot more attention, but I feel like Suzuki definitely needs to step it up. But I feel like they've been doing okay. I just hate how when the new year comes out, it's kind of like the same look. As far as like the engine and stuff like that, I'm talking not just like the graphics, but just certain things like the dash, if you want to give me the same graphics, give me a little different setup on the dash or like different mirrors or something. It doesn't have to be like a total flip.
Nah, we're gonna give you all bold new graphics and bold new paint job. That's exactly what we're gonna give you.
There you go, baby.
What are your thoughts, Reese? Should they be doing more? On one hand, their 10-year-old bikes still, are close to okay,
10-year-old. I want to say like 20-year-old, like a 20-year-old bike. God damn,
bike is still running with a 2025 newer version. So on one hand, they're saying we still fast, but what are your thoughts? Should they be in the culture a little bit more than they're doing?
Yeah, you still fast to go in the shop because it still breaks down fast, or fast to be stolen on the street.
That's true.
That's okay. You can steal another one. There's so many out there.
Exactly.
It's like bike trading.
For real.
Someone steal your jigsaw, just go steal another jigsaw. He'll steal one.
That's it.
Many out there.
There's plenty of them out there. There's plenty left.
Plenty.
But I mean, I think they got to do something. I mean, a lot of guys don't even know. It's like ever since like Cowie and Suzuki like split, because Cowie was helping them out and sharing parts and doing certain things way back when. But as soon as it seemed like Suzuki just lost their way. They just can't figure it out and can't get back into anything. They just disappeared off the face of the earth. And it's kind of just sad, but yeah, it's sad.
So let's look at the numbers. All right. Suzuki has been able to increase their revenue year over year since 2002. They're selling more bikes, but they're not selling the bikes that you and I see. They're selling the bikes that are needed in the emerging markets like Latin America and India. So profitability wise, in 2024, they had a significant increase in their overall net profitability because they're selling so many bikes targeted to emerging markets like India, Latin America, South America, and even Africa. Now, we look at it and it's like, well, what about us? What about us? We don't buy that many sport bikes anyway.
Come on.
We don't. If you look at the overall amount of sport bikes in the U.S., the U.S. is a big market in dollars because we buy in high dollar items, but we don't buy in volume.
But, you know, if you look at Suzuki among younger people or age people, everybody talks about Suzuki. Yes. I mean, it is like, you know, talking about Timberland shoes, right?
Because it's plague.
Let's say
it's literally like that young person.
Let's say you're getting into motorcycling today and you go into Want Ads or you go on Facebook Marketplace looking for a used bike. You're going to scroll through 1,500 Suzukis within like 20 miles of you that are all for sale. So this is why it's in the culture because there's so many bikes. I mean, remember from 2000 to 2010, Suzuki sold something like 27 million motorcycles.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, this was their heyday of selling mainly in the U.S. The U.S. was selling, you know, tons of Suzukis. And to this day, those bikes are out there. They might be leaking oil all over the place, but they're still out there. And people are still buying them and trading them. And they're great bikes for, again, a beginner rider, somebody new. They're analog in a digital age. They do need to catch up. And I think it's something that every couple of years, the rumor starts going around, Suzuki's going to do something. Suzuki's going to do something. But what they did is they kind of said, look, we're a smaller manufacturer. We're not a Honda. We don't have the outlets to make cars. You know, you don't see Suzuki cars being sold in the U.S. anymore because they're not that big a company.
Samurai.
Whew. Samurai, baby. That was the 90s go-to. The Samurai.
You know, he probably still has one in his garage.
I do. I seen one recently, and I'm like, I don't even know how that's like the GSXR of Jeeps. It just won't die. It's still out here.
I haven't seen a Suzuki car forever. Ooh.
Oh, they're out there. You just not looking.
They're out there. I see them.
I'm gonna see one tomorrow. Watch.
As a company, they've done the right thing. As a company, they've pointed their emerging markets. At some point, they have to look back at least the U.S. European market is difficult to penetrate for any brand because of the emission standards and all the regulations and everything else. But the U.S. is definitely a place where they can see a lot of success if they brought the right products to the market. If they came up with a brand new updated GSXR 750, I don't think the 600 is even worth making anymore. Like, get rid of it because the 750 is a 600 with a different bore and stroke. Right. So don't make two bikes. Make one bike. Make that bike really competent. Give it the updated electronics that everybody expects from a sport bike. And then do the same exact thing to the GSXR 1000. Just adding wings and bold new graphics after 17 years is starting to get a little long in the tooth, man.
Come on, man.
The only upside
No,
They
I
changed
can't.
the
I can't
exhaust.
say this.
They changed the stock exhaust pipe though. It's not that big anymore.
Yeah, but who keeps the stock exhaust anyway? It's
No,
the
I
first
know.
thing
I'm
to go off a bike. Only plus side
So it
is
goes.
I can sell my 2017 and still make as much money as when I bought it in 2017.
Exactly. That's
So
what I
keep
like
The
about
exhaust goes from a
those
long
bones
dingling
wrapped.
to a short one.
it.
But I can say this: we do, as an American, we do sell, and the numbers were showing that we do sell the most 1000s out of any market.
Yep.
We do.
We can't ride for shit for
I
the
got
most
two.
part, but we love horsepower.
Yeah, the ERCs it all day, every day. So
we can say that we.
Go ahead.
Yep.
No, you're good.
Okay, yeah, we do love the horsepower bikes. I was talking to one of the guys I met at a ride up yesterday and meet up yesterday, and he was telling me about some young kid who bought a 636, and he was telling the kid, like, chill out, just take it easy, slow. The kid's like, no, I want to go fast, and blah blah blah. And he's like, the next day the kid sends him a photo of his bike, and he crashed the bike within 24 hours, that kind of thing. So there are young people who definitely want to go fast and don't have and think they have the skill set, but don't have the skill set to manage, a middleweight bike, much less 1,000cc bike. So,
I mean, the thing, it was two things. Was that on a recall?
That he crashed?
Did he crash because of recall out there?
No, not because of the recall.
Because Cowie got it. Well, Cowie does have a big recall on there, 636. Do not ride.
Got you, huh?
They just got another one. They got a second recall.
Yeah, it's a do not ride on there.
No.
Yeah, it says do not ride.
Wow.
So
I had one guy blow a rod right through his motor. Yeah, there's a second one.
Yeah, there's two recalls on ZX6 right now.
The first one was on all of them, right? All of the new 25 models.
Mm-hmm.
I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good for Kawasaki. I mean, Aprilia had that a few years ago with their R660 and stuff like that with their engines, and they replaced a lot of engines. So I mean, I don't know if Aprilia may have a little bit more money than Kawi to maybe go through and deal with all that, but they survived. The R660 survived.
It's not that; it's they have less sales. So they only got to fix like 8 bikes. I know the guys at Aprilia, so I can bust their balls.
All right. That's what's up. So let's talk about off-season shenanigans or things that we like to do in the off-season. Reese doesn't have an off-season, but if you are a track rider, Reese, club rider, a racer, what would you be doing right now for your off-season prep for next season? I know it's not going to be buying a Suzuki.
Nah, because they might blow up or leak oil. But no, I'll probably be out trying to train and trying to just get my body right, get in shape, and do a lot of track day riding, try to hit the south and where it's warm and then go ride. That's probably about it. At the Jennings, at least it's warm there.
So really no time off. You just going to the track because
why take time off? If I want to win, I want to be better than the next guy. That's it. I want to be better than him. While I'm sleeping, somebody's out there practicing.
All right. What are your thoughts, TJ, on what Reese is saying? We're gonna put Reese on the spot a little bit, and Lewis, because I mean, you gotta service suspension. I mean, you could probably do it all, Reese. So you can probably get your bike prepped in a weekend. There are a lot of people waiting to get their bike in to see somebody. What are your thoughts, TJ, on off-season prep, and what are you doing to get ready for next season? You coming down this way to go to Jennings?
I'm thinking about it. I like, warm places, but I like where Reese's head is at, but we got different jobs, and he does that for, gets real contingency and all that good stuff. So he can, really focus. But no, that mentality is if you do something you love, you definitely got to go hard, and you can't just do it when the action is. You got to put the work in the off season. So this is the perfect time to get everything together. For me, starting in 2020, now I know like you got to start now because time passes so fast, and once it's really time to get the bike going, like you'll be scrambling around. So it's good to get everything in order that you typically use, and all the parts that you need to get ordered them now. Get the oil changes and all the flushes done now. So when you can after the new year, just get ready to get smooth sailing. But definitely getting in shape and all that good stuff. So.
Right. I mean, see, like Reese doesn't have to go get snow removal jobs like us, TJ, to be able to pay off this previous season we just completed. He's all right in that situation. The rest of us is
shit. I wish
6 weeks and then I can get tires.
Exactly.
I gotta work. I still gotta work. I gotta pay all bills. I got a wife at home that eats up every bill I can do. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I got that funding I still got to take care of. I'm like, man.
That's a capital W right there.
Exactly.
What are your thoughts, Louis, on prepping in the off season? And are you somewhere in the middle for advice? Because I know you got your Suzuki and you're just looking to sell it, and I don't think you're coming to the track. Although you did say you're gonna bring the R6 down to Homestead in January.
Yeah, no, not selling the Suzuki ever, man. That thing is. I'm gonna get a double wide casket and I'll make sure they bury it with me. Well, the first thing you got to do.
It don't work now as it is.
You got to go out there. You got to find a 0-interest credit card for 18 months so you can take all the credit card bills that you accrued during the racing season and move them over to a 0-interest long-term so you can pay it off and not pay any interest over the 18 months. Clear up your first credit card because now you're going to fill that credit card with all the stuff for this coming season. And this is how you accrue yourself into debt for life as a motorcyclist. That's the first thing you got to do is get your finances right so you can fuck them up, because that's what we're doing. That's what this is all about. How deep in debt can I get in this sport?
Yes.
Then after that, you got to look at your bike and you got to think about everything on your bike that can go wrong and kill you. And don't be cheap when you're fixing it. Don't buy shit off Temu. Don't buy things on Amazon just because they look cheap, because cheap now means expensive later. Check your chain. One thing that nobody does, which blows my mind, is change your brake fluid out. Brake fluid absorbs moisture. The more moisture it absorbs, the less it works. And over time, you get a lot of brake fade and a lot of brake issues. You should really be changing your brake fluid out like twice a year. I mean, most racers will change the brake fluid out almost every single event, because you don't want it to absorb moisture and cause brake fade or lever feel. So change your brake fluid out if you can. Most people don't know it. Just shocks have oil in them, just like all oil. That shit goes bad. Like there's dudes right now on a 2002 GSXR 1000 stuff, the same oil from 2002 in that front end, and don't understand why that thing is a pogo stick in the front.
Yeah.
Get your forks
He's
taken
speaking
out.
from experience, y'all.
I'm speaking from, I changed this stuff. I don't wait until my fork oil looks like Mazzola. That's the same consistency as Crisco. Like I change it when I need to change it with the right weight and make sure it's done correctly and put it back together. So take your forks out, take it to a good shop that can change the oil for you. You don't have to take the whole bike. If you got the ability, do it yourself. Take the rear shock out. Have the oil change in the rear shock. Some of the shocks have oil and they have gas cartridges. Get those serviced. These are little things that nobody ever does. And I'm telling you, it will change the ride of your bike. It'll make it feel better. Check your sprockets. If you don't see pointy teeth, change your sprocket. When that shit gets round, that's not a good thing. And when you change your sprocket, change your chain. Get a good quality chain. Get something with like an X-ring, a sealed, so you don't have to spray it as much or you don't have to maintain it as much. All these little things. Check the bearings. If you got the ability, take off the front end of your bike, grease your head tube bearings. Check the bearings on your wheels. Like this, I got a list of when I used to do this as a regular thing of all the things that I would go through, and I would keep a schedule and I make sure that I stay on a schedule, because the last thing you want to do is go into turn one, grab the front brake, your shitty ass fork oil compresses completely, your brakes fade like crap because you don't have good brake oil. And then you're going into turn one at 180 miles an hour thinking about, man, if I just spent $30 on oil, I wouldn't be about to hit this goddamn air fence.
I gotta say, Lewis, man, is pretty in depth. But first one is, I'm not gonna have half the things that you just said.
Find a good shot.
Let's go back to brakes.
Brakes. The liquid in your brake. If you look at that clear plastic thing and it's black, that shit is wrong.
Yeah.
Brake fluid doesn't come in black. That's oil.
So, Louis, you will not be teaching first rider classes.
Everybody be like, nah, this is too difficult for me. I quit. I'm gonna go back to try my.
Listen, when he tried to teach Nesba and we was all in there, everybody was looking at him with the crooked eye, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What do you mean I hit the brake while I'm turning? That makes no sense.
I got a trail brake? What's trail brake?
No, forget it.
Visual things. Look at the little plastic container on your handlebar that's connected to your brake. If it's black, take that to a shop and get that shit changed.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on everything you just said and you guys just said. But I think, the biggest thing for new riders is education, because you don't there's so much that you don't know that you should be doing. You don't know that you should be changing oils and anything, much like the oil in the engine, which should be obvious, but some people don't even do that. So it is really, again, the credit card parts and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely racing is expensive. So whatever you got to do to get prepared financially for the next season is important. But, education is the biggest thing. If you're I can wrench and I do wrench, but I don't know what I'm doing, and I hate to do something and jack it up.
I tell people don't be scared of working on your bike within your comfort zone. If there's something you're not comfortable working on, don't work on it, because again, a motorcycle, you only got two wheels, you got limited amount of parts that keep you up and keep you safe. If you don't feel comfortable doing something, don't do it. Take it to a shop, pay the money to get it done right. If you're someone that's even slightly mechanically inclined and you feel comfortable in trying something, try it. And the best case scenario is you got a great resource that we didn't have back then. Back then, it was all bro science. Nah, man, this is how you do it. And then you do it that way, you find out that's not the way you're supposed to do it. Everybody was doing it wrong. But now we've got YouTube. You can go on YouTube and they will teach you how to do almost every single thing. If you go in there and, hey, how do I bleed the front brake master on my bike? Somebody will have a really detailed YouTube and a high quality, well-made, produced YouTube video on how to change the brake fluid on your master cylinder, how to bleed it, how to make sure that you don't spill any of that brake fluid on your precious paint, because brake fluid is like acid. It'll
eat right through that shit.
So, how to do these things, how to change your front wheel. Don't start with your back wheel, because there's a lot of moving parts back there. Start with your front wheel. Get comfortable on how to take your front wheel off. Right. And understand how the bearings and the spacers work and things like that. And they'll have one for your specific bike. I got a 1991 CBR 600 F3 front wheel change. YouTube, 18 videos will show up.
Yeah. You mentioned spacers and bearings. I've ridden on a track with no spacers in my KTM because I didn't know it was missing. And, I'm like,
that must have made a real interesting sound.
Just you hit the brake and you'll see your front wheel move from left to right. I'm like, that doesn't look normal.
I'll be honest with you. I was in the pit at Daytona during the Daytona, I think it was 2 years ago. And they had the wheels set up on a wheel tree, and they had the spacers already on the wheel tree. They grabbed the wheel off, they put it on this rider's bike, and they were like, oh, that was a super fast. And they turned back at the wheel tree, and there's a spacer on the wheel tree.
Oh.
And this dude went and did 3 laps with no spacer. When he came in, that wheel was fucked up. And it actually cost him the race because he had to pit a second time that wasn't scheduled just to put a spacer in. In the meantime, they had to change the tire from the tire they took off to a new tire,
right?
Put it on a tire warmer, and you only had 3 laps to do this. So when he got back out there and his new tire was barely even warm because it didn't have time to heat up, and this cost the dude the race. So keep an eye on those spacers.
Yeah, you got to keep your eye on everything. I think, like I said, education is the best part of it all because you have to know the language. You have to know what you need to service. You have to know when you need to service. We've always mentioned, reading the real rule books of different race clubs and stuff like that. So what races you can get your bike in. What are the rules as far as specs. What can you put on a bike? Because some places you can't change your master cylinder.
That's a bullshit ass. That's because they don't want Suzuki's racing there.
And I mean, I could back up Lewis on what he said on one thing when he was saying about changing that chain. Sometimes you don't even have to change it. Clean it. A clean chain will save you some money, but it'll actually keep your rings moist. And then when they actually go to clean your damn chain, don't just clean the chain by itself. Clean your front sprocket the hell out. You get so much gunk and crap up in there, and it will actually affect your performance. Clean it out. Just take some brake cleaner and spray it, and just clean it the hell out.
What's brake cleaner, man? Come on, what's that?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that WERA rule where you can't change the front master cylinder because anybody who's ever owned a Suzuki knows that the Nissan master cylinders that come with Suzuki's ain't worth the metal that they printed on.
Well, that's what Suzuki is. Suzuki's not worth the metal it's printed on.
Yeah, but everybody else using Nissan master cylinders, nobody else has the recalls and problems that Suzuki has. Like Suzuki went to Nissan and was like, yo, give us, what's your cheapest master cylinder? What's 4 levels below that one? That's the one we want. Bet. That saves us 18 cents. That's the one we want, man. Because we selling a million of these, so 18 cents adds up when it's a million.
Red Bull.
Oh my God.
Okay, so we got education, we got working out, we got servicing bikes, we got getting the finances in order, trailer prep, right? If you how you gonna get your bike to and from the racetrack. If you're in Europe, you can just ride your bike and go do your track day and ride back. I don't know where you put your seat. I don't know where you put your water, your food, and all this other stuff that you need at the racetrack. But I guess it rains all the time over in England, so you just gotta hold your head up.
You know what, man? I give so many props to guys that ride to the track and then go on the track with the bike they just rode to, because that's a level of confidence that I don't have. Because what happens when I chuck my shit in turn 5? Do I call Uber like XL and be like, yo, just make sure you got a Uber Suburban, I got a box.
It's a lot of energy too.
You can give the guys
down racing. I don't want to ride.
Lewis, I can just see you can give the guys your home address on the crash truck when they say, where should you drop it off?
Just leave it in that corner and just say that's stolen. I don't know what happened to my bike. Forget about it.
I'm done.
Yeah, I think if you're close to the track, I think it's practical. But again, you're absolutely right. If you chuck it down the road, granted, if you get anything happen at the track, you still have to get back from the track. So there's regardless of transport, whether it's a car or a bike. But yeah, how comfortable can that be? You're going on with street tires, street leathers. You might be able to get away with bringing a backpack of stuff.
Yeah, that's a guy in like the beginner group or something like that. It's not somebody that is going to have like a more serious track day or is really going to try to push their skill level and try to learn something unique. It's somebody that just wants to go out and ride, not worry about cars, not worry about traffic lights.
Right. Do half a session, 3 laps per session kind of thing.
Yeah. You know,
Till that guy gets T-boned in the back and then ass pass.
Go to the fuel pump at the track and pay $10 a gallon to put 100 octane because you don't even have a gas can. Like, how you coming to the track, man?
All right. So maybe not riding your bike to the track for your first track day event. But how, talk about some of the prep stuff that you guys do, trailers and whatnot. What do we need when we go to the track besides the bike, a smile, and some money?
I mean, I can start the simple way. So me, I don't have an enclosed trailer. So when I first got into it, I really needed to find a way instead of just loading on the back of my pickup truck. Like, how the hell am I going to get this bike to the track? So I ended up investing in an open trailer, 5x8, nice small one, put some pressurized wood on it, all the bolts, did all that stuff, and 2 wheel chocks, and eventually tried to change it to some pit bulls, but just throw them on there and comfortably strap them down. And that's pretty much how I can get there. And it makes it so much easier now that I don't even typically need any help, where I can just roll them up by myself and just strap it and go. Before on the pickup truck, you always got to ask that helping hand or try to think you can manage it, try to be boss and hope you don't drop your bike. But
you know how many times I almost dropped my race bikes trying to load in the back of a pickup when I first started pushing bikes around?
Yeah, man. So that gets old really quickly.
I just didn't want to embarrass myself. I'm like, you got to save this. You got to pick this bike up. I don't know how you're going to get it back up now, but you got to get it up.
Yeah. And it don't even matter. Like, you show up to the racetrack and everyone got their RVs and campers and showing up all different ways, but just got to get there, So, I got the open trailer still works. When it rains, the bikes might get wet, but hey, still can get there and bring all your tools where you can clean it up, gas cans and all, where you can refuel, all that good stuff. So.
Right. Yeah, my first track day, I didn't even bring tools. It's just like, I guess I need a toolbox.
I don't think nobody's first track day did that.
Your thoughts based on getting to the track and prepping. I mean, I have a similar story. I was using U-Haul first to trailer my bike up after I realized I'm not going to load in the back of a pickup anymore because it's not for me.
I mean, my first track day, I didn't have all that. I loaded in the back of a pickup truck and kind of just got there. I didn't know nothing about having tire warmers and generators and actual food. I was the one that didn't have food. I had to go leave out the track to go get food, then come back and everything else. So, but I mean, there's things that you need. You need to, you want basic. Just want just sun off here.
Yeah, we're losing you a little bit.
The gas can. I said, at least have a rear stand, a gas can, a tent over your head, and a chair to sit in because your ass is going to be tired. You're going to be tired after a couple of laps. A lot of people don't understand, like, it's tiring keeping your eyes open and focused that long. It's a wear and tear, but, just your basic stuff. Your basic stuff will get you a long way, more than what you need. And bring some food and some water.
I will say that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and the bike.
Not knowing how tired I was going to be. I didn't realize how tired I was going to be. It's like, you're nodding off at like 7:45, so it's just like, it really does take a lot out of you, especially if you haven't been to a track and know that you have to work out. Not like you're training for a marathon, but at least a half marathon to get through a weekend and still walk upright when you're done. What do you want to add to that, Lewis? Getting to the track and being prepared and all that fun stuff.
Same thing again. I mean, it's depends on the person and where they're at in the track curve. If they're just starting, look at a very simple solution. The good thing is with most track organizations, when you sign up for them, they usually have forums. You can go on the forums. You can ask people there. Sometimes you can even find somebody that's going there that can bring the bike with you. You can go the simple route and just rent a trailer from U-Haul if you have a way to tow it. If you don't have a way to tow it, you can always rent a pickup truck and get some ramps at a Harbor Freight. It's not going to put you back a lot of money. Use that to get on and off. Like, keep it simple. Don't overexpend initially. When I first started going to the track, everybody had open landscaping trailers. If you showed up with an enclosed trailer, like, yo, you was a bowler, you got an enclosed trailer. Everybody else's bike is wet and full of shit that we caught along the way, but damn, yours is dry. Like, now you got people showing up in, $500,000 mobile homes that are pulling, full mobile, toy haulers. It's like, damn,
Yeah.
So just, stay in your budget. Don't go too crazy initially. Even with your gear, you can go on a lot of these forums. You can buy a suit used for like $500-$600. Don't go buy a brand new top of the line suit day one, because again, you have to see if this is something you're going to enjoy. If it's something you're going to enjoy, then you have to, again, look at your own personal finances, see what you can do, see what you can afford, make sure that it's within your budget. Because if you blow your budget too fast, then it's going to discourage you from being in the sport, because you're going to be like, oh, look how much money I spent. Like, it's got to be incremental. You can't just dump it all at once.
Yeah.
And then, again, as you grow within the track mindset and the track lifestyle, then you'll see that you'll start to evolve. Well, you know what? I want a better trailer. I'm going to get an enclosed trailer. Oh, well, now that I have an enclosed trailer, maybe I want a toy hauler, because I want to bring my family with me. I want a place to stay, or maybe I want this. And as you grow, then your needs will change along the way. Like right now, I'm going to do a project where I just bought a trailer today. It's a blank canvas. I haven't had my own trailer in years, so I'm going to start from scratch again and kind of do everything that I know I kind of need. So I'm going to have some outlets put in it. I'm going to have a offshore connection. So if I go to a track, I can plug into the circuit at the track and power the outlets inside my trailer, power a fan, power this, power that, coat the floor, because most trailers come with unfinished floors. So you have to coat them, because your bike leaks gas or you leak oil, you can damage the floor, and you don't want to damage the floor. So these are all things that I'm going to do because I've gone through the process. I know what I need. But again, as you grow in the sport, slowly, incrementally grow what you want to do. And you'll see, as you go to the track, you'll see people with trailers, and you'll peek inside their trailer and see their setup. You'll see their pit bull restraints. And you're like, oh, what are those? Oh, well, this is a way to hold your bike without blowing out your forks, because you over torque the front end with straps. And you're like, oh, that's why my fork's always leaking. Yeah, because that ratchet is not to keep ratcheting until you hear the pop of your seals. It's just to hold it in place.
Yeah, absolutely right there. I mean, stay in your budget for sure, and build up as you get into the sports more. Before we get out of here, one last thing I got just a thoughts on. I went to a meetup, like I mentioned yesterday, and we were talking, and the guys were talking, so I kind of always go fall back and just, I'm not quick to run my mouth sort of thing. And I heard one of the guys was talking about, I don't go to track days because it's just too much money. It's like $1,000 to go. And, it was one of those things like, well, it can be $1,000, but it could also be, $300 or $150. It all depends. So what are your thoughts when you hear people say, it's too expensive to go to track, that's why I don't go?
Yeah, I mean, shoot. I mean, it is expensive, but like Lou said, you got to do the increments. So you got to find your ways. Like this is the right time right now. Black Friday, go put your money down on some gloves, a suit where you can get it discounted, and then a couple months from now buy something else. But once you get out there and you have everything, that's when I don't want to say it becomes cheap, because then you can still mess up your bike, but it becomes more sustainable where you can just manage, like, hey, I want to go to a track day. I just pay just the track fees. I don't have to buy a whole suit and gloves and all that because I already have it. What I also want to mention is you got to ask somebody who rides the track and get some help to get there. I know when I first got to the track, Rexy, you sold me your bike. And at that point, I didn't even have a truck. I had a car. So you was actually bringing my bike up for the first few rounds until I found a way to, take it take it off your hands, but just paying it forward. And, just there's people are so friendly at the track. I mean, somebody will help bring you there, bring you back, just to get you into that experience. And you don't have to throw all your money away just to get to the track. So you can find a way for it not to be expensive for your first couple of times.
Right. Reese, anything you want to add to that about, when you hear the some people complain about the cost and so they don't go?
I mean, I've heard people, working in a dealership for so many years before, I've heard people complain about the cost, about getting to the track. But a lot of times I've seen those guys as like, I'm saying something to, justify me not going, where some people are actually scared to go to the track. And I'm like, there's nothing to be scared about. You actually can ride your bike to its full potential and actually learn your bike. Right. To be a better. There's way, like TJ said, there's better ways of getting to the track, not blowing all your wad. I mean, there's like you said, the forums. There's people going that will help you get there. You don't have to blow all your money. That you can find track days that are actually not that expensive to be able to get to the track and just go, and have some fun and actually learn the sport and learn how to actually ride and not be a nutball out here in the street and make yourself a lot safer. Right. You'll be a surprise. So
yeah, start off on a small bike. You can one set of tires can last the whole weekend on a KTM or a Ninja 400.
Right,
the whole season, not the whole weekend.
All right, you can actually, and then you can flip those. You can flip the tires. You can always flip them.
Because if you're a beginner rider, you're not going through tires like that.
No,
but I think some people like to buy tires, and they don't really need to change them yet.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to the tires. You're not going to the tires like that.
Weekend, man. I'm like, word, how many races? 3? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Funny story. I used to always ask Rexy, I'm like, man, at this turn 6, I keep slipping. Think I don't have any grip. You look at that, man, you got more life left. Just tell me that every weekend. Man, you still got a couple more races left on those tires. Like, oh man. But once you get like faster, and then you realize like it starts to get a little more dangerous. You got to start keeping up with all the tires and up and the fluids and all that stuff, and that's when it can become expensive. So. But
right,
just to get out there, no.
And it's good, as I was mentioning to TJ when I said that, it's good to learn how to ride on worn tires. It's good. It's good to learn how to do that, because if you don't know when the tires fall and degrading, then how do you know when to change it? And as a beginner rider, you kind of just have to go. And you're not, again, if you're Meso and these fast guys or whatever the case may be, you already know when you should be changing tires. When you're a beginner, you can't just be changing tires because the person next to you is changing tires and y'all are doing similar times.
Yep.
Facts.
Yep.
Yeah, and then for me, the only thing I'll add to that is there's always going to be people that, I don't want to go, it's too expensive. And some people you'll never convince. And other people, it's like Reese said, there's a fear to them of going to the track. Oh, I'm going to crash my bike. I said, look, crashing your bike on the track is like leaving your house and saying, I'm going to crash on the street. Do you ever leave your house and say you're going to crash on the street? No, because you're going to go out and ride. Same thing with going to the track. You go out and ride your ride, and you ride it the way you know how to ride it, and you're actually going to be able to learn a little bit more. Some track organizations even give the first or second session of the day for free to a new rider, just to get you to the track so you can see what it's like. And if you want to stay the rest of the day, you can stay the rest of the day. Like there's plenty of excuses, but none of them are actually really good. Because at the bare minimum, you're going to be a more confident rider, and you're going to have the ability to do so in a safe environment. Whereas if you do go down at the track, there's medical personnel right there. There's people looking out for you. If you crash on the street, I mean, there's a guy that crashed on the tail of the dragon. They found him 3 days later.
Oh, dude, I just heard about that. I heard I don't think it's the same story, but some dude crashed somewhere else and they found him like 24 or 27 hours later or whatever.
Yeah, they found this guy a couple of days later, disemboweled because a bear ate him, because he died and a bear ate him. So this dude left his house, and I'm sure that wasn't on his list of, I'm worried about crashing. You should be worried about getting hit by a bear, yo. So go to the track, because I've never heard of somebody getting eaten by a bear after they crash at the track. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No. Not at all.
Well, guys, I think we could probably keep talking about this, but I think we're going to call it here. Next week, we're going to be talking about MotoGP first era in the motorsports, which is 2002, after they left the 500cc. I don't know what MotoGP was called before MotoGP, so I meant to look it up.
World Championship.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
It was the 500cc Grand Prix or the 500cc World Championship.
Or something like that, yeah.
Yep.
So we'll be talking about that. So you're going to be hearing names that you have not heard in a long time or maybe ever. It's going to be very interesting. So definitely stick around for that. I want to thank everyone that's been commenting, liking, subscribing. We appreciate you, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here doing what we're doing. So keep up.
We'd be just four random dudes talking to cameras.
Yeah, just before random dudes.
Actually, it would be just us, like on a WhatsApp chat, doing the same thing but not recording it.
Exactly. You know, at least we look sane and senile, or sane and calm. So it's a good thing. So definitely, we're gonna try to do our part. So until next week, my name is Rex45. It's the Be Forever Cool podcast. You have TJ from Two Wheels and Coffee, Reese from Attack Yamaha, the numbers guy, the real Luis Ortega. Until next week, peace.
Peace.
Peace.